The teams are leaving the lists now, and some of them have to even crawl out of the lists if they do not have any more strength to get out on their own two legs. It's not that easy, ladies and gentlemen.
W rankach mamy dwie czeskie drużyny. Brawa dla nich.
Okay. On the screen, you see Vysocina fighters, and in the far end, with red tabards and yellow stripes, we have Prague Dwarves. Waiting for everybody to enter the list and get ready. And we are starting the fight. Okay, this fight is a bit more static than the other one. Nobody wants to make a bad move here. So we're waiting for some action to start. Okay, so the attacker started to attack and secure his wrist fighter. Nobody is yet on the ground. All fighters are standing on their two legs. Oh, as you can see, this Vysocina fighter is putting hard blows on the Prague Dwarves fighter. Many times, though, if a situation is secured, let's say that fighters are holding a a really experienced or big fighter from the opponent's side, it's better to leave them one-on-one and just go and help the other weaker, let's say, fighters, so they can get dominant inside of the list. Okay, we see some really nice blows from the Vysocina fighter into the hip area, I would say, of the Prague Dwarves fighter, but he is standing strong. I wonder how much can he still endure. Right now, hitting his left arm that is hanging for his life on the list. Let's see if they can just finalize this and put this down, put him down. It's a 2v1 situation, so that's why the marshals are not interfering. If there would be 3v1, they would stop the round already. However, it is 2v1, so the Prague Dwarves fighter can still fight. But those two-handed axe hits were too much for him, so he went down. So the first round goes to Vysocina. Let's see if Prague Dwarves will get back on their feet after this round. Okay, second round of Vysocina and Prague Dwarves, and afterwards we are going to have a fight between Legenda Północy and KS Rycerski. So a very fierce battle between two Polish teams that are actually battling non-stop for the title of the best in Poland. But right now we are looking at both teams catching their last breaths before the second round, which has just started. Let's see the tactic now. Okay. The left part of the list has started to engage more than the right. Runners are looking at each other, looking where they can help on the list, but also maneuvering to change the strategy of the opponent. So both runners decided to punch. However, one has got off and helped. So now Vysocina is getting dominant inside the list with one Prague Dwarves fighter down. So we are seeing two Prague Dwarves fighter down, one Vysocina fighter down, but the battle is continuing. Both teams are Czech Republic teams, so as I said, it's kind of a brotherly battle. All right, so two Prague Dwarves team members have to endure three Vysocina fighters. And the Prague Dwarves fighter goes down, so Vysocina wins the second round. So Vysocina wins this whole fight. And as I said before, two top Polish teams are entering the list. Rycerski in white tabards and Legenda Północy in black and gold tabards. Okay, as I said, a security helmet check to see if straps under the chin and on the neck are tightened. So none of the helmets get off the fighter's head.
Przygotowują się Sierotki i Vysocina.
Okay, we are starting this battle. Let's see how it goes. A lot is going on one side of the list. Some hard blows are going on there. But the other side is just waiting for the right moment. Right time when the fighter turns his head to check the other part of the list to put a nice blow. However, one Kazar fighter just slipped on the slippery grass from the rain and got put down, actually, by the grass. Okay, we're seeing some very, very good techniques from the Kazar runner. Always looking where to help in other parts of the list, but also just dealing those hits to the opponents. So right now, folks, we see 4 Kazar fighters versus 4 Legenda Północy fighters. With the tabard, with the shark, is the captain of Kazar, Artur Patalas. Okay. Both fighters are, both teams are training very, very hard. Every week they're training in armor to get that endurance up, to get all the other skills also developed. So it's not easy to bend their heads and just to put them down. Very, very good skills from the Polish fighter. However, right now we are seeing a battle in the very corner of the list. The helmet went off. See, folks, it can happen. Even though we have checks, we can still see helmets flying off of fighters' heads. And thankfully, fighters are then put down so nothing else can happen. So Kazar has won this fight. 3-2-1 fighters in the list that are still standing. So congratulations, Kazar. We'll see if Legenda Północy will be able to dominate the second round. And yes, I agree, Maciek, that grass can be one of the biggest enemies. Grass and I would say this kind of slippery, rocky also terrain. Or sand. You can also slip in sand. So actually, any terrain is going to be your enemy. Okay. Now we can see additional checks to the fighters that are swapped and are entering the list the first time during this battle. They have to have everything tightened. They have to have all their straps in their armor just secured, so nothing can be loose, because if a fighter loses a piece of armor or is even hanging from their body, they are put down because of security issues, let's say. Yes, we can see the logos of both teams, Legenda Północy and KS Rycerski. We are waiting for the beginning of the second round of the battle. Okay, we can see that everybody is pretty much prepared. Last guidance from the marshals, and we will start the next round of this fight. And let's engage. Okay, the Legenda Północy runner has a huge two-handed weapon. I would not want to get a hit to the head with that. Let's see their strategy for now. So every time you see a fighter hit, momentarily after they hit, they look around the list to see if anybody's running to them or is anybody of the fighters in their team is in need. That is a very important tactic. And you can see a great run from the Kazar runner, Lucas Hulk Jarabek, and he has put that Legenda Północy fighter down to the ground. So the situation on the other side of the list is not really changing. Both attackers are trying to secure their list fighters to see if those list fighters can obtain a situation to a throw. But the list fighter from Kazar and Legenda Północy, they just feel like hanging out together. All right. So 3 Legenda Północy fighters are already down. So it's 5 Kazar fighters in white tabards, 2 Legenda Północy fighters, and though the last one of 2 Legenda Północy fighters is already down, so that means that Kazar won the whole battle. And you can hear Kazar's war cry after a successful battle. Jesteście ziomeczki, jesteśmy ziomeczku. So right now we will see a battle between Shirotki from Poland and Vysocina from Czech Republic. And after that, we will see Legenda Północy from Poland and Lowland Boars from Hungary. Both teams are pretty much prepared for the battle, waiting, having their last thoughts, motivating themselves for the battle. And if you could hear that, or at least see that, it was a war cry from Shirotki, Tome, Tome, Shirotki. So let's see how they perform in this battle against Vysocina from Czech Republic. As you can see, Shirotki have a big fans group that is cheering for them through the whole fight. All right, we see a Shirotki fighter and a Vysocina fighter down. Some fighters are still wondering what to do in the list, where to help, where to run, and they are finding their destinations. Okay, that was a good throw from the Vysocina fighter, so another Shirotki fighter down. We can see some good hip blows from this Vysocina fighter, trying to put their opponent down with strength and pain and agony. As you can see, fighters usually go for the head when wanting to throw somebody, because it's, let's say, the most bendable part. That really shows strength of a fighter. If the fighter can last with not bending their head, that means that fighter is prepared for a lot of good fights. All right, so we can see that Vysocina from Czech Republic has won this round. Let's see how Shirotki do in the second one.
Pierwsze starcie wygrywa Vysocina.
Fighters getting out of the list, going down to their knees or even backs just to catch some air, to let the weight off of their shoulders and other body parts. It's not easy to fight in this armor. Let's say my armor is like around, I don't know, 25, 27 kilograms, but men's armor, sometimes if it's a big boy, you can get up to even 50 kilograms, but usually it's around 30-something kilograms. Okay, let's see the second round of the fight between Shirotki and Vysocina. Okay, actually I saw some knee kicks there, so some MMA techniques coming from fighters inside of the list right now. You can see how the Shirotki attacker is trying to secure his list companion from getting any very hard blows from the Vysocina fighter. And the Shirotki fighter put down the Vysocina fighter all by himself. So right now, the Shirotki fighter can really test his strength with that two-handed axe. All right, and a very good leg throw from the Shirotki fighter. And that Vysocina fighter's back, I am so sorry for that spine and for that face. That does not look like anything that I would want to have to go through, actually. Okay, so we see 3 Shirotki fighters and 2 Vysocina fighters inside of the list still. So there is still potential for comeback. And a 2v1 action from the Shirotki fighters, which they win. So Shirotki win this round 3-1. And there is going to be a third round, ladies and gentlemen, because there is a tie after 2 rounds. So it's the fight for all, folks. Fighters using every second to catch that breath, to just take some water, or motivational words from their friends from the pit stop, or just advice, right? Because for those who are new here, all teams have their own, let's say, pit stop. So when a fighter loses his weapon, then they cannot engage with any attacking measures. Actually, they can only defend themselves and run to their pit stop for a spare weapon. What is more, actually, if a fighter loses a weapon but has a spare weapon on his belt, he can take that out and already start using it. So some fighters prefer to have their spare weapons right on their belts, but some don't have that opportunity and have to run back to get a spare weapon from the pit stop. And now we can see that there is a 1-minute break between until the last fight, because there were already 2 rounds. So now we have a 1-minute break for fighters to catch their breath, to gather their thoughts, and to go for the third and last round of this fight. We can see Shirotki's pit stop right now, helping to check any other loose armor elements, tighten those straps, and just check if everything is in place. And that is very, very important, to have those people right beside you. All right, fighters got the message that the fight is about to happen, so getting their faces off of those lists. Okay, we are starting the third and last round of this battle between Shirotki and Vysocina. Okay, we already see a Vysocina fighter down. Good teamwork from the Shirotki fighters. Trying to create a situation for Shirotki's fighter to do some good hits, but there was a run from the Vysocina fighter, and which literally put the Shirotki fighter inside of the corner, inside the list corner. But that created an occasion for the second Shirotki fighter to create a 2v1 situation, and we already see 3 more Vysocina fighters down. So Shirotki win this list. Win this battle in less than 1 minute. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, so now after Shirotki and Vysocina, we will see Legenda Północy, that is already entering the list, and Lowland Boars from Hungary. Let's give both teams a very warm welcome while they are being checked by the marshals, and while they are waiting for their first battles. Just a small reminder, Legenda Północy in black tabards and Lowland Boars in red tabards. Okay, the battle is starting. Legenda Północy has some good fighters with two-handed weapon skills. And already a Lowland Boars fighter is on the ground. All right, another Lowland Boars fighter has to go to the ground. And Legenda Północy is just hitting with those two-handed weapons very hard, trying to put those fighters down with pain and strength. It's really hard to endure hits like that. As you can see, this was a fight that lasted around 45 seconds. One of the fastest I have ever seen. I'm not sure. It was somewhere, I think, in the Namo Cup, like, I don't know, 20-something seconds. So. Okay, quick couple-second break for the fighters to swap to repair their armor elements that have might and loosened up. Yes, I can see that one Lowland Boars fighter is getting their sabaton fixed. Not sure if a strap there got lost, but the sabaton is a part of the foot armor actually, and has in the regulations it has to be on the foot, so it cannot drift off somewhere into the field. So they're trying to repair it so it stays in place on the foot. We can see the fighters inside of both teams. Łukasz Wojciechowski, nicknamed Zwierzak, is the captain of Legenda Północy, and Lowland Boars. Gabor Ferenci is the captain of the second Hungarian team. If a part of armor, ladies and gentlemen, cannot be repaired in the time between battles, that fighter cannot attend the next round. Those are the rules of just being safe in the armor we wear and fight in, right? But from what I see, I already see 5 fighters from both sides. Both teams are prepared for the next round. Fortunately, the rain has ended right now, so the fighters are fighting actually one of the best weather they can fight in, because it's cloudy, there's no sun, the temperature is great, so, and there's wind, but no rain right now. Okay, we're starting the next round. The Lowland Boars fighter wanted to interfere in the strategy and the structure of the Legenda Północy fighters, so the runner has to have eyes around their heads to be able to see if anything is happening behind him. Okay, we see that Lowland Boars are motivated to give Legenda Północy a nice comeback, actually. some good tries from behind to put these Legenda Północy fighters down. And we have the first Lowland Boars fighter down. You need a lot of core strength to put a fighter down by running into him, and the other opponent has to not have balance to put him down actually in that kind of way. But we see another Lowland Boars fighter down by the list, so there are two Lowland Boars fighters down right now versus all of the Legenda Północy team. And that was a good throw through the ankle by the Legenda Północy fighter. And Legenda Północy wins 2-0 versus Lowland Boars. So the next fight is going to be Rycerski from Poland and Prague Dwarves from the Czech Republic. We can already see Kazar's fighters entering the lists, and the Prague Dwarves fighters are on the other side. So Kazar in white tabards, Prague Dwarves in red tabards. It's pretty easy to identify them, both teams this time, right? Of course, traditionally checking the straps, last war cries. Before battles, and in a moment we will see some good fighting. At least that's what we all hope for. All right, both teams have engaged onto each other. As usual, things are happening on one side of the list. The second one is a bit more cautious. Big fighter from Kazar is trying to not bend his head from that Prague Dwarves fighter and tries to secure him from helping his own teammates. Good blows from the Prague Dwarves fighter, but there are comebacks from Kazar's fighters. Okay, so there are two sets of fighters down, so two from each team. We can see a Prague Dwarves fighter just holding onto the list with his arm really strongly, so it's hard for the Kazar's fighter to bend him the other way for him to go down. The mobility in armor is a lot different than in other sports. It's really hard to sometimes do what you have planned inside of your head because either you can't see something or your breath is uneasy and you just want to survive. But that just shows the skills of the fighter, those moments. But we can say that this round is won by KS Rycerski. We can see that Prague Dwarves were fighting pretty fiercely for this win, so I'm really interested in what will happen in the second round of this fight. Usually now captains of teams ask which fighter needs to be swapped, to which one feels not well, who has something wrong with some armor, anything. So the captains are the people that engage in these moments the most. All right, both teams are prepared, and the marshal has announced the second round right now. Really important to know what is going on anywhere in the list. And the first Prague Dwarves fighter is down by Artur Patalas, the captain of KS Rycerski. But right now, the runner wanted to throw the Prague Dwarves fighter, but went down right with him. We can see some grabbing the leg techniques from KS Rycerski fighters, so the second fighter can stretch the opponent in a way that he will have to go down. And actually that happened already. Alright, so KS Rycerski won the second round, which means that this team has won the whole fight. Alright, and the next team that are going to be fighting are Shirotki from Poland and Legenda Północy, also from Poland. So right now, what we can see is that KS Rycerski is going for the win of this, for the gold position in this tournament. We'll see how it goes further into the tournament. We can see the last war cries from both teams. Sierotki, you know, KS Rycerski, you know, and Legenda Północy, their war cry is Czarni, Czarni, Legendarni. Okay, and the first round has started. Okay, you can see a Legenda Północy fighter bent down pretty hard right there. However, his teammate came to help just put the focus out of that head bending, and the Legenda Północy fighter is back on his feet, straight up, and is ready to fight further. The Shirotki fighter wants to go help his friend, however, he constantly has to check if anybody is behind his back. And there is a Legenda Północy fighter with a two-handed axe right behind his back that is starting to hit the Shirotki fighter. As you can see, the Shirotki fighter, while bending and trying to throw this Legenda Północy fighter, is constantly looking at other opponents and other situations. A good run from Legenda Północy fighter, just tripped his opponent, which fell down. And really good counter from the Legenda Północy fighter. The Shirotki fighter wanted to throw him, but he countered him with a counter throw. And in this way, the Legenda Północy team has won this round. Okay, last checks from the support of the Shirotki fighters to see if anything is hanging, if anything is not safe. And we are starting the second round, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see how this goes for Shirotki. And we can see a Shirotki fighter already down in the middle of the list, but the marshal put a Legenda Północy fighter down too. So it's still not equal anymore because we see another Shirotki fighter down in another part of the list. And right now, the Legenda Punoc fighter just ran up, put one blow into the side of the Shirotki fighter, which just made him cry and go down.
Gratulacja dla Legendy Północy.
So Legenda Północy wins this battle, and that means it wins both rounds, meaning it wins the whole fight. Alright, let's see who is next. Now we are going to see a fight between Kazar and Vysocina, team from Czech Republic.
Zapraszamy później.
Okay.
Rozpoczniemy o godzinie 40 po.
There is going to be a break right now, actually, a 20-minute break. We're coming back at 12:40 CET time. So it is the half of the tournament, and we are making a break, folks. So now is the time to go do some chores, get some food and drinks, and come back in 20 minutes, 12:40 CET time. After half of the tournament, we can see that Legenda Północy is winning with 3 points. Second is Kazar with 2, and Shirotki also with 2. Next, we can see Vysocina with 1 point, and Lowland Boars and Prague Dwarves with 0 points. So those are the standings after half of the 5 versus 5 tournament, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, nothing is happening, folks. This break is just about giving the fighters a short break for them to be able to catch their breath, not get dehydrated, and maybe discuss some tactics. So both Legenda Północy and Kazar are going for gold in this tournament, so those two teams will really want to focus on what they say to each other during this break. So we will see you folks after the break in 17 minutes at 12:40 CET time. Right now we are also getting offline, but we will be here very, very soon. So see you in. Thank you.
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra! Hurra! Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra! Hurra! Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip, hip! Hurra! Hurra! Hip, hip! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip hip! Hurra! Hurra! Hip hip! Hurra! Hurra!
Trzeba bić, albo się oberwie.
Hip hip! Hurra! Hurra! Hip hip! Hurra! Hurra!
And we are back after a break. We're back to the Niepołomicach tournament Buhurt Challenger, and we are going to see a fight between Rycerski from Poland and Vysocina from the Czech Republic. Rycerski already is inside of the list, and right now we can see tournament results after half of the tournament right now. Legenda Północy is on the first place with having also one more fight than Rycerski. So we already can see Vysocina fighters coming into the list. I hope you had a nice break, folks, and are ready for more fights in the Niepołomicach tournament.
Proszę Państwa, może tak króciutko jeszcze dla tych Państwa, którzy nie wiedzą, na czym te walki polegają, nie wiedzą, jak tutaj można wygrać lub przegrać.
We can see the fighters inside of both teams. Artur Patalas is the captain of Rycerski. He has the tabard with the shark because that is his nickname. And Vysocina Joseph Paul is the captain of that team. Other fighters in Rycerski, I am going to call out their surnames: Olczak, Blausz, Basiak, Szymajda, Jerabek, Skóra, and Derus, and Vysocina, Pol, Samec, Spacek, Veseli, Swoboda, Samec, Vacek, and Kala. And both teams are already ready for their fights.
Jest kilka treści, które są zabronione, mianowicie wszelkie dźwignie bólowe, wszelkie dźwignie barkowe, łokciowe są zabronione. Zabronione jest również atakowanie ciosami, zabronione jest atakowanie karku, uderzanie pod kolana, uderzanie w okolice genitaliów, a także niektóre uderzenia.
We have started the first round of this battle. We can see some fierce hits from the attackers from both sides of the Rycerski team. We can see Robert there's trying to clench that Vysocina fighter's leg so he cannot go anywhere, and a fighter can come and help and stretch him out to put him down. Right now, though, there is a actually V2 action in the corner of the list. In a different part of the list, we see 3v3. Both attackers are using their two-handed weapons to put these fighters down, and a not so successful run from the Vysocina fighter caused the Kazar fighter took that as a potential situation to throw him, and he did that. So 2 Vysocina fighters down already. And the runner from Kazar tried to put the Vysocina fighter down, and the round is done. Kazar wins this round. Let's see if they can. Let's see if Vysocina can come back after this round. Just a reminder, folks, they can tie up to Kazar, and then we will have a third round. As you can see from both sides, from a bird-eyes view, the pit stop has weapons ready to help their teams, and the second fight has started. The Vysocina fighter did put the Kazar captain's head down pretty well. However, the runner noticed that and helped his captain out and put the Vysocina fighter down. Right now, we're seeing a situation where there is a 2v1 chance here to put the fighter down. However, that is a big fighter, but Kazar was successful in this try, and Kazar wins the second round, meaning that this team wins the whole fight. You can see really good technical skills here, guys. Sometimes strength is enough and pain, but sometimes you just have to know how to catch somebody, how to trip them, how to make one of their legs or arms not able to fight. So now we see Prague Dwarves and Lowland Boars entering the list and getting ready for their fight. And this is the 9th fight out of 15 on the tournament. We see that these teams like each other, and because they are showing respect right before fighting with each other, just saying hi to each other, wishing good luck, and having some good friendly fights. However, this friendliness will be gone in just a few seconds as the fights will start. And, well, unfortunately or fortunately, these fighters are trying to win, right? So there's nothing friendly in hitting each other, right? Okay. We can see both sides of the list are pretty dynamic this time. A Lowland board pushed through and pierced the structure of the Prague Dwarves team. what we can see now is many clenched with each other fighters trying to bend each other, trying to use their strength in order to put these fighters down. We can see a good fight between a Prague Dwarf and a Lowland Boar in the middle, but that has been released, and the Lowland Boar decided to run up to a Prague Dwarf and try to hit him in the spots that he knows that will hurt. They are very close to putting this Prague Dwarf down, which happened, but a Lowland Boar fighter went down with him. So now we can see two situations where we have 1v1 fights. Now we can see actually three situations. So one is on the list that you cannot actually see on the stream right now. So they have to release themselves and go help their friends in the list, because it's very rare where you can simply put down an opponent in a 1v1 duel inside of the list. However, none of the fighters right now sees a chance to get away from their opponent and go help their friend inside of the list. So they remain in the 1v1 formula, actually. We can see Lowland Boar really well bending this Prague Dwarf fighter and trying to put him down, which he did, but he went down with him. And the Prague Dwarf just wanted to make sure that that Lowland Boar is down. So now we have a 2v1 situation for Prague Dwarves. This has to be very, very tiring. Already half of the time of the round has gone through, and the Lowland Boar is down. So Prague Dwarves win this round in this fight. A pretty long fight, so I'm wondering if Lowland Boars will be able to get up after this this round, actually. The fighters are moving very, very slowly to be able to gain all the seconds they can in between rounds, so they can catch their breath, get a bit more strength before the second round. However, we can see that everybody is pretty much ready. Still, Prague Dwarves need to have their fighters swapped, and that is what we are waiting for. But everybody's already ready, so we are starting the second round right now. Good front kick from the Prague Dwarves fighter. Fortunately, didn't give a lot of strength to the team, but it was a good try, right? So what we can see right now in this corner, we can see a mishmash of both teams. However, the Lowland Boars fighter is bent down pretty well. It's a matter of seconds until he goes down. Prague Dwarves fighter has to just do that finishing touch, which he did not make, actually. So no fighters down in any of the teams yet. Actually, one fighter down from the Lowland Boars already inside of the list. So Prague Dwarves do have dominance inside of the list and trying to use that in various 2v1 situations. As you can see, you can also use your shield as a weapon, and those are really effective when you want to hit in the hip or in the ribs, usually mainly on the sides or in the armpit area of the body. The Prague Dwarves fighter, which we can see here now, has actually very comfortable spot on the list because he is holding that Lowland Boar fighter, but also sees everything what is happening on the list, inside of the list, and is controlling the situation. So more Lowland Boars fighters down, and Prague Dwarves do win the second round of this fight, meaning that they win the whole fight. And now we will have the 10th fight of this tournament between Kazar, which is already entering the list in white tabards, and Shirotki, also a Polish team in red tabards. We still have to give time for the fighters to get out of the list. Those are two pretty long and tiring rounds, so no wonder they're moving pretty slowly. Yeah, we can hear these war cries going back and forth almost every round. But right now, we're not focusing on war cries. We're focusing on this round between Kazar and Shirotki. First round has begun. As usual, teams trying to understand their tactics, seeing where they can run, where they can help out, what they can do inside of the list. The Kazar's runner is really dynamic. He wants action happening inside the list. And we can already see the first fighter from Sierotki down, put down by the captain of the Kazar's team, Artur Padalas. And we can see a 2v1 action on the other side of the list that made both fighters from both teams go down. And right now, this Shirotki fighter is fighting for his life, but he was pushed out of the list, meaning that he is also disqualified from the round. So Kazar wins this fight actually fairly fast against Shirotki. So we will see a second round in just a moment. Kazar's homies, as they call themselves, look pretty much fresh, actually. They don't look very tired. Just a couple of straps to be tightened around the shields, making sure it hits properly. And we will start the second round. Marshals are signalizing readiness, and we are ready to start. One part of the list going, list fighters going faster than the other part, assuring dominance on the field. All right, one Kazar's fighter down and one Shirotki fighter down right now. So one Kazar's fighter, the runner, has been thrown outside of the list by the Shirotki fighter. So the action is now happening in one corner and on the other side of the list. Shirotki want to fight back, and we see that with what they are doing right now. But it's not going to be an easy fight. So they have to choose wisely who to help, where to go to, and how to do it. We see in the corner here a fighter that is trying to injure two other fighters from Shirotki, and right now another Kazar's fighter is down, And Kazar really needs to get back up because they are 2v4 right now. So Shirotki are actually winning this battle right now. We can see the captain enduring some hits from the Shirotki fighter right now. And Shirotki win this round, so it will be a tie, and there will be a third round between Kazar and Shirotki. So now the third round will show who is the stronger team here. This win can help Shirotki team a lot when it comes to the final standings in the tournament, and could mess up a lot with Kazar's points. So all of these fighters have to just combine their focus and do their best in this third round, because it is going to show and might change a lot in the standings. Last changes in who goes on which side, last tactical advice being sent out there. But let me tell you that the next fight is going to be between Prague Dwarves and Legenda right after this third round. Of course, the fighters right now are having a short break because they already fought 2 rounds, and they are allowed to take a 1-minute break before the third round of this fight. Both teams know the importance of this round, so we can see Shirotki fighters really getting together and trying to find some new tactics, or trying to give some more advice between each other. But we can see that both teams are already very ready for this third and last round. Let's see who wins and who becomes the stronger team in this fight. Marshall's checking readiness, and we're starting. Both of these teams have a lot to lose here, so let's see what these teams can show in the third fight. Both of them are really tired, but the captain of Kazar is able to put down the first fighter from Shirotki team. So now Kazar has dominance on the field and can create 2v1 situations, can put down fighters a lot more easily. In the corner that we're looking at is a 2v2 situation. It would be hard to get out of here right now to help others, but others do not need help because the second Shirotki fighter is already down, and Kazar's runner is coming over to this corner to help his friends inside of the list to put these fighters down. We can see fairly strong blows to the head. However, those are not very effective, as fighters have thick helmets and well cushioned out, so it's not that easy to put somebody down by just hitting in the helmet area. However, another Shirotki fighter is down by a combination of good skills and strong blows from the two-handed weapon fighter. And all Shirotki fighters are down, 4, so that means Kazar wins this round fight 2-1. So now we are going to see the fight between Legenda Północy that is already coming into the Wis in Black Tabards and Prague Dwarves in red tabards. But before that, we are having a medical situation, and medics are being called to one of the Shirotki fighters. Not really sure yet what has happened there. For sure, the Shirotki fighter is conscious, is able to discuss the health issues with the medical team. I think it's something with the arm, as he is showing that something is not right with his left arm. It's really hard for the medical teams to see also what is happening because of all of these layers of armor on the fighter's body. So before they get to that, they have to take a lot of layers off of these fighters. Right now, we could see the fighters inside of the teams. The captain of Prague Dwarves is Beck. And the round has started. Both teams met somewhere in the middle, trying to gain as much field as possible to not be rounded up inside of the corner or on one side of the list. However, slowly, Legenda is gaining that confidence and gaining that a bigger part of the list every second. There is a big difference in weight and size of the runners on both teams. However, they both clashed and are getting into this clinch. As you can see also in the corner right here. The Legenda Północy fighter is not backing down though. He is coming over to help his teammate put these Prague Dwarves down, which he is doing. Already 3 Prague Dwarves fighters down. Actually 4 of them went down from what I see. And the Legenda Północy team has won this round. It's very hard for the Prague Dwarves team to get back up on their feet, stand on their side of the list, and still fight. After this fight, we will see battles between Lowland Boars and Vysocina.
Do następnego starcia szykują się drużyny Lowland Boars i MSC Vysocina. Przed nami druga walka pomiędzy Legendą Północy a Prague Dwarves. Prague Dwarves będą mieli jedną walkę od początku.
Okay, Marshall's checking readiness. That means the fight will start in just a couple of seconds. And they have gone. Prague Dwarves trying to be very much more dynamic than Legenda. Legenda prefers to look around what is going on, choose the right time and chance, which gives them good chances for strong blows, running into opponents and putting them down. And we already see some Prague Dwarves fighters down. But also, a Legenda Północy fighter is down. So still anything can happen here, ladies and gentlemen. But one of the Prague Dwarves fighters lost their gauntlet, which means losing armor always means disqualification. So Legenda Północy won this second round, meaning they won the whole fight. And now we will see entering the list Lowland Boars from Hungary and Vysocina from the Czech Republic.
Zapraszamy. Lowland Boars. I Vysocina.
Let's give them some time. Everybody's already very tired after these fierce battles. But there are only 4 fights until the end of the tournament, so this is all or nothing for these fighters, folks. Small update on that Shirotki fighter that had medical attendance. Fortunately, nothing severe has happened, only some issues in the hand area. All right, we see both teams inside of the list. Ready to spread the Buhurt love. And we have started. Good front kick from the Vysocina fighter on the list. It always creates some lack of focus from the opponent. We can see already one Vysocina fighter down and another Lowland Boar trying to run into their opponent to put them down, which they did. So Lowland Boars are asserting dominance inside of the list in this round. They are ready to fight. They are ready to win. And we can see that with the Lowland Boar trying to deal some blows to the pain points, let's say, on the Vysocina fighter's body. And they are all transferring to one side of the list, trying to see where they can help, where their help also is needed and is crucial. The Vysocina's fighters are still getting hit by the Lowland Boar fighters. However, those hits are seeming not to deal so much damage as he is standing straight and not really caring about those hits, to be honest. So the Lowland Boar decided to still keep an eye on him, but try to find another target to hit. But unfortunately is already down. Okay, so with that we can see that Vysocina has won the first round of this fight.